Hey guys, welcome back to Real Life Excel. Hope you're having a good day. Happy Sunday. Or I guess Monday when you're seeing this video. We'll leave that part in there. I like to plan ahead. Part of being an Excel user is that you tend to plan a lot of stuff ahead using spreadsheets. But getting a little bit off track, I wanted to go through the font section within the Home tab. So when we're in the Home tab and then this font section right here, I just wanted to go through some examples in this section. So the first one that I have right here is the bold function. So here I have a couple of texts. Let me do a number instead. So here we have a text saying test and then a number saying 1000. And if you see this big B right here, if I just click that button, you can see that this boldened the text. So now it's a little bit thicker, it's darker, just making it more clear to view. You can do that with numbers as well. So here we have 1000. I can click on B, the button B right here, and then I'll make it bold. You can also use the shortcut key of Control B. So if you go on your keyboard, you select the cell that you want to bold, you can do Control B, and then that will bold it or unbolden it as I just did. But if I do Control B again, it will bold the number. I can also unbold and bold multiple items at the same time. So here I selected multiple cells. So you can see that here I'm just bolding it and unbolding it. So pretty nifty if you want to make things stand out more. Italics, let me change this to 1000. Italics basically makes the format a little bit different, a little bit slanted. So if I click on the I right next to the B in the font section, if I click on that, you can see that it's a little bit slanted. If I go down to the number, same thing, it'll be slanted a little bit. And I believe it's Control I. Yep, Control I to unitalicize and italicize the number or the text. So Control I. So pretty nifty if you want to have a certain number, certain text stand out a little bit differently or emphasize a certain text or number. So this can be pretty helpful to visualize your data or your text. Underline. So as you can see, we have BIU. Here we have our underline. We have a couple different options. We can do a regular underline or a double underline if you want to be more specific. So let's do a number again. So if I just click this little button with the U, and then you can see the little dash in there, here we've underlined our text. Same thing with numbers. If I just go right here, here we just underline the number. So pretty nifty. And what's pretty cool with Excel is that you can also italicize and bold all these different items. So for example, I've already underlined these two items in these two different cells. I can click on the B button. It will bolden them while also keeping the underline. And I can italicize them, making them italics. So pretty nifty if you really want to stand out certain items within your spreadsheet. This is kind of the good formatting that you can use to make things stand out, make it easier to look at, that sort of thing. Okay, let's move down to the text color. So, again, let me make this into 1000. I don't know why I copied and pasted test, but you can just keep trucking along. So if I move over to this part, you can see this A with a little dash of red under the A. And here, if you just hold your cursor on this, it'll show the font color option. And here we have a wide variety of colors, and it will also show you the preview of it. So I'm holding it over blue, a gray, kind of an orange, gold, I think is what it's saying, green, but let me just do red. And so I click on red, and here you have our text in red instead of black. And Excel will automatically create text in black, but you can always just change the color if you want to emphasize on certain things. And again, if I want to bold this, I can click on the B button and it will keep the bolding with that respective color. Same thing with italics and underline. So pretty nifty if you want to even more show something in your spreadsheet. It's pretty nifty on doing that. We do a number, font size. So here we have a couple of options that we can work with. So here you can see a number and a drop down. Here's where you can either select what size you want it to be. So here I'm just showing the preview. I can just move my cursor around, just clicked on 8, but I can move my cursor around and get a preview of it. and Excel has some preset numbers that are pretty common. I believe the standard is usually 11. I think in previous Excel versions it could have been 12, but 11 is the usual font size nowadays. Now you can see these little A's, capitalized A's with an arrow, an up arrow, and a down arrow. These are kind of quick, I guess, buttons to increase or decrease font size, as you can see in the little description when I hover over it. So if I just click on that, you can see that the text and the number got bigger. You can see this number got updated. And then if I click on the down arrow, it just decreased it by 1 font size. And so with this drop down, you can also type in the specific font that you want. So let's just say I just want 20, click enter. And if I just want to go back, I can just type in 11 in that little box and then press enter. And there we have it, back to normal. Okay, let's go to highlights. Let's do to 1000. So highlights, if I move over to the left from the font color, here we have the fill color or the highlight color. Basically, instead of highlighting the text or changing the color of the text or the number, you're actually changing the color of the cell. So for example, if I want to do gray, I can change the cell color to gray and it will leave the font color the same. So if I want to highlight specifically, certain cells within a spreadsheet or certain texts or numbers, this is the way to go. So it's pretty nifty if you want to highlight different colors. And what I just did is if I click on the drop down, I can either reset it to doing no fill, or we have a plethora of more colors in here. If you just click on this little button, say more colors, here we have a wider variety of colors. So here I'm just clicking on different colors and you can see that the new is selecting the new color that you've just selected, and then the current is the current color that's currently on there. So here we have a wide variety of color within this hexagon of colors. And then custom, this is where you can really like nitty gritty select a specific color. So you can do 103 in red, 180 in green, 76 in blue, and then it will create a very specific color. Here we have another depth of color that we can do and select, but for the most part, people are just going to use the main colors in here that Excel has already pre-selected. Font color. I don't know. Font color. I've already done that. So let's just, not insert rows, but delete some rows. And then font type. So you can see that we have a little name right here in a drop down in the font section in the home tab. And the basic font type, so basically the type of text, the type of style that either the numbers or the text is displayed, it's usually in Calibri. So that's like the default name. But if I click on the little drop down, you can see that we have a bunch of different types of font types, and some of them are pretty wacky. Yeah, there's like a bunch of them. Richard, Webdings, yeah, Webdings is a funny kind of meme one. But yeah, usually most spreadsheets will automatically have Calibri. Sometimes they'll have Arial. I believe an earlier version of Excel used to have Arial as the default, but that has since moved to Calibri. And I believe now the newest version of Excel has a completely different new font type. And Microsoft will automatically just update these font types for new Excel users. So if you notice a little bit different types of font within your spreadsheets, that's probably why. And I believe Excel gets pretty nitpicky on which fonts they want to be the default. They want to get a specific font type that's pretty universal and easy to understand. So they're pretty nitty gritty on that. And another one that I didn't put in here, which I just realized, is the borders. Let me just bring those in here. So this middle one right here below the font type, here we can have the border option. And right now it has pre-selected as the bottom border, so let me click that. And I guess my Excel spreadsheet is not going to show that very well, but basically I can honestly just change the type of border. But anyway, if I click on the drop down, we can see different types of borders that we can select. So if we want to separate data based on different criteria to make it more organized, visually more organized for us, then this is our option. So, and you can kind of see it right here, a little black border, thin border. I just clicked on the all borders. You can do a left border only, and so it'll only do the border on the left of the cell that you selected. Here we can do a double thick border. Here we have our double line border. So pretty nifty if you want to border certain things. We can also do different colors for those borders. So there, I just changed it to red. Yep, that double border is now red. I can also do the thickness of the border. I can change the thickness of the border. So here we have a thicker red border. And Excel just gives you a bunch of pre-selected types of borders right here, and these are usually the ones that I work with. So here we have our thick border. So basically, if you want to create like a title of something, so for example right here, I just created a border for the border section. Pretty nifty. We have different styles as well, so kind of something you can play around with just in Excel. Let's see, let's remove all the borders right there. Perfect. Here we can have different borders. You can work on different styles. Excel will create a bunch of different styles that you want to use, different formats, but this is more nitty-gritty stuff, as you can see. But for the most part, you're going to be playing around with the main set of borders, these main, 13 borders, and then a little bit of the color and so forth. So yeah, that's borders and some fonts related items. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll catch you for the next video. Peace, guys.